It's showtime, everybody. How's it going? Is this thing on? We have the Bears franchise off-season live stream for season 1. Welcome. If this thing is even working right now, I hope it is. It looks like it is. How is it going, everybody? There we go. Hey, if I wasn't late, I'm not sure you guys would even show up. I'm pretty sure half the reason you're here is to see, what time the stream even begins. It's all part of the plan here. How's it going, everybody? Good to see you all joining the live stream today as we get through another off season. I've done so many of these on this channel. We have to be in around the 40 or 50 off seasons now. It's been a while since I updated all the lists of seasons I've put together. But if you're talking 10 from the Minnesota Dynasty, 6 from UTSA, 5 from the Chargers, 4 for a bunch of franchises. We've gone through so many of these, and this is one that I've had a little bit of trouble thinking of all the options we could have here, because there are big needs on this team that we need to fix, and I think that our options are a little limited, so it might take some aggressive stances in certain spots, whether it be in free agency or in the draft, of course. So we'll have to see how it goes. I need to get a fade. I know I need a haircut really bad. I can't remember the last time I got one. Probably the last time the Vikings lost, if we're being honest. So I'm thinking that I'll get that done this week, because this is really starting to bug me here. It's not right. All right. Didn't I do a Chargers Year 5 recap? I thought I did. I could have swore I did. Those are pretty simple to put together. Oh, a super chat from the Emperor of Game Recaps, David Guerra. How's it been, Kane? It's been very good. It's been very good here. Lots of good vibes. I've been having a good time with the series. And the year winding down, the football season, can't complain. Looking to finish the year strong on the channel and keep things exciting and upbeat going into next year. Draft Reggie Shepard. Oh man, that was the first pick of the Chargers franchise. I'm not sure there's a Reggie Shepard level player in this class. We're going to get to it in a moment. Thank you for the super chat, Jay Patterson. Who you got in today's college game, Army or Navy? I'm pretty much, I have to cheer for Navy for life, considering that for my family members who have been in the military, I'm pretty sure almost all of them were in the Navy. Yes, we do need to get a tackle on this team for sure, and Charles Leno is actually under contract for 4 years, and there's a chance that we could try getting 2 tackles this year, or maybe just 1. But regardless, 1 is like a minimum. 2 is kind of the hope. If we look at the roster, the offense really looks bad. I do think we have to address receiver. Thankfully, one potential option is just on our injured reserve, and that's Cameron Meredith, whom we could try to re-sign. Then there is the possibility of bringing in a free agent, and I have a list of free agents that I'm interested in, and I'm going to go through them soon. The list of receivers is longer, so receiver might be something we target in free agency and then look for other needs in the draft. 2 tackles, maybe a couple receivers, probably not a running back. I probably don't need a running back this year, although you never know, especially in the latter rounds. Defensively, I like the team a lot. Very deep at middle linebacker. I like that we have Prince Amukamara already signed. So I'm hoping to get another starting cornerback across from him, but I feel like in the draft and free agency, there aren't going to be many options. It's going to be up to a couple players to really get that going for us. So it's a little uneasy, to be honest. It's hard to be too confident in that. Where's Trubisky? Oh, he's on the injured reserve, so he's not on the depth chart. Here were the injuries on the team. Many of these were before the series actually began. And I'll be tweaking the injury slider because we didn't see a whole lot of injuries this year. Although I played a pretty high injury level, I think. We did not finish the year with Zach Miller, Mitchell Trubisky, or Deion Sims. Oh, David Guerra. Please fire Fox, or I will be very mean in my recaps. Yeah, is the John Fox era coming to an end today? It hasn't exactly worked out tremendously, has it? What are we, like 5 minutes already into the stream? I feel like I'm not even rambling in like random circles yet. I'm doing pretty good. Anyway, we've gone through the recap. If you want to see what happened this past year and a little bit of insight as to just how bad the team was, you can check the recap video on my channel. It's a pretty lengthy video, but if you want to kill some time, it's there for that purpose. Otherwise, we are ready to move on to the playoffs and the off-season. So I've already ranked my draft board by position. So all the receivers are ranked, all the tackles are ranked. Didn't do really a big board because so much is going to change. I think what I want to do quick, maybe is a little bit of negotiation. And, oh, I just saw 27 Super Yankee. I'm sure it's a good day for you. Let's see what he says. Prioritize tackle over wide receiver in the draft. Since you can get a Nunwa and Meredith, get that backup quarterback, blocking tight end in the draft, and go Stanton. I knew there'd be a Stanton reference in there somewhere. So, you know, with Stanton in New York, you really might have to change that username before too long. And it's a shame because the Yankees had like... They had a face turn. They became the good guys. They had some success in their farm system. And now they're back to being the evil empire, having Derek Jeter help them get Giancarlo Stanton. That is unreal. And they're going to be a massive problem. But thankfully, it's always an arms race between them and the Red Sox. So both are going to spend and one's going to be disappointed every year. So that's okay. I kind of feel like I was lied to for many years because before the Red Sox ended the curse, they were like the underdogs and like the good guys to the New York bad guys. Like they were the arch rivals. And now I feel like, you know what? They just became the Yankees buying up everybody. So they're both just like off in their own little world. I feel like that rivalry is not for baseball fans anymore. It's for just fans of those two cities. I'm not sure if anybody agrees with that, but I know I don't care about it. One of the Scout LaMarcus Mills here, who's a run-blocking tight end. Got to have one of those on the roster, of course. Gone through that already, but I wanted to see if I can make a couple contract negotiations before we get to the off-season. Zach Miller, I'm not looking to negotiate with right now. Akeem Hicks, I already edited his contract. I have no idea how this works because it shouldn't show him here. He's under contract for a while, and I can actually show it right here. Look, big money too. So I don't know if I should try offering to him or just let it ride. This is a really weird one because he should not have, he should not be in this screen at all. I do want to try re-signing Cameron Meredith. I think it's a really fair price point here. He should be fully healed for next season. And look at all the abilities here. He gives you everything you want for an outside receiver, besides maybe deep speed. But he can run routes, catches the football well, makes the tough plays, could jump. This is exactly the type of player we try to draft, and especially with all those traits. Like, this is a no-brainer, really. So I'm going to, I'm cool with this offer. I'll go even 25 if I can. A little bit over the asking price for Cameron Meredith. And the stream begins. Wow. I really like the salary. Wish I could say the same about the bonus or duration. I gave him what he wanted, actually a little bit more. That is shocking to me. That is really odd. So I'm not looking to bring back Kyle Fuller right now. That's a price I don't want to pay. Tom Compton, withdraw. By the way, I have not simmed through the postseason yet. And one of the reasons why I saved so much is because there's a long-running successful streak on this channel. For my last 4 franchises, the team that wins the Super Bowl in year 1 of my franchise goes and wins it in real life. 4 straight years. I believe it began with Seattle, then Denver, then New England. I forgot the order of all the Super Bowls, but you get what I'm saying, right? So 4 straight years it's gotten right. So we have to highlight the 5th in a row here. I'll let Pat O'Donnell hit the market. I just don't want to give a punter like a 4-year deal right here for no reason. Sam Acho, 28 years old. I'm going to let him go and try to get some more backup pass rushers. John Jenkins, I am going to let him go. Kendall Wright, I do want to keep him around. I think he's a solid player. But I think I might let him test free agency because I think I can get a better deal. Let's see. If I just increase the guaranteed money here for like 2 years. 6.5 mil. Let's just make it more guaranteed. We're not going to cut him. So 3.25 a year I think is fair. Probably less than fair, honestly. Hopefully he's not listening to these negotiation tactics. There's really not a single thing I like about that offer. Okay, Kendall, I'm sorry. Oh, man. Kane, that's not what they want. That's what's considered as a fair offer by the market. I guess that's a good point. That says fair offer. I still have to see what they're willing to accept. I like Bryce Callahan a little bit, but at that price, I don't think anyone's going to pay that in free agency. So we'll come back to that. Mitch Unrein, we let him go. I'm just letting so many players go. Christian Jones. I like Jones. And I would like to keep him around if possible. So, if I just give them offers that I want to go with, and not just the fair offer, I'll see what I can get. Jones hates my offers. Man, all their agents are never going to talk to me again. Oh yeah, Benny Cunningham. Now, I like Benny. I really hope he accepts this. Yes, we keep Benny Cunningham, so that makes it a little less likely that we draft a running back this year. We'll let Kadeem Carey go. Look for a new running back on the practice squad. I can always do that, now that practice squads are in Madden. We're going to let Soul go. We're going to let Barth go. We're going to let Randall go. And we're going to let Bellamy go. It's a pretty stress-free re-sign period, other than the uncertainty with Akeem Hicks. Like, honestly, does anybody know what to do? Because I edited his contract, so he should be fine. But he's on this list, and I don't know if I should offer. It's a little strange. No guarantees here for Daniel Brown. Decent offer, wants a better salary. So we can come back to this later in the offseason, I believe. Deontay Thompson. We're going to let him test just because he's 28. If I can find a younger returner to build around, that's cool. DeAndre Houston Carson, though. I'm actually willing to give him more than he wants because I think he's an ideal backup and a spot starter. I think that he'd handle his business. So, there you go. That's the one guy I'm overpaying right now. Tag Hicks and edit his contract the next week. That's kind of smart. Ethan Mahoney sends a super chat. What corners on the market are you considering? Honestly, there were only 2 that really came to mind when I checked the salaries, and that was E.J. Gaines from the Bills and Sam Shields, the former Packer. Neither are like #1 corner material, but, you know, around that #2, #3 range. So those are kind of the last resort options there. So why don't we advance to the wild card round now, as we're going to go through the playoff results. Might want to offer Hicks just in case. I think the franchise tag plan is actually a really good idea. Hicks is fine, it's just like a bug. Okay. Draft running backs? I don't want to draft running backs. I got other things to fix right now. Alright, looking at our staff. Just taking a look at what's here. John Fox. I'm sorry. It hasn't worked out in Chicago, and John Fox has been fired as head coach of the Chicago Bears. Snowbird sends a super chat. RIP the Chicago Sanchez era. Week 17 Season 1 to Week 17 Season 1. Yep. He played all of 2 quarters of football. He made a decent chunk of change doing it, though. We're actually going to fire the entire staff because the scout isn't focused on areas that I want. We're going to let them go, and I'll have to get a new staff. So no more John Fox. And that's just re-sign staff, so then there's a hire staff phase that I think comes afterwards. So this is your Black Monday right here, right after week 17. So we're going to sim round 1. Who do I think is going to win the NFC South? I think ultimately the Saints are going to win it, but the loss to the Falcons certainly makes things a little more interesting, I think. So let's check on the playoff results and know that my series have just predicted the future 4 straight years, and they've all been proven live. I believe that I've always done the simulating live. So we have Jacksonville over Denver, Philadelphia over Dallas, Baltimore beats Miami, and Green Bay beats San Francisco, giving us these matchups in the divisional round. And honestly, most of these teams are probably close to correct for what things could end up being. Alright, so we're going to advance to the conference championship week and see what happens there. I do feel a little nervous about this. It's just because I know the power. Oh, come on, the Vikings lost. I knew I should have just forced them to win. So it's Titans, Patriots, Packers, Falcons. Vikings didn't play very well. Tennessee wins. New England wins. Atlanta wins. All right. What kind of Super Bowl are we looking to have? Oh, hire staff. I can't forget about that. Time to make some moves. All right, so I need a head coach. You're telling me Mike Tomlin is available with expert scouting? How could I say no to Mike Tomlin? Let's go. Let's up this offer. This is too easy. It's also too slow. 3-4 power run. I mean, it's a perfect fit. Mike Tomlin. Then a scout. Should we focus on running back overall? DB overall. That might be one to go for in the future. Ray Woodall. I'm not sure what the point of the levels are. Because I can just go cheaper. Eugene Compton. And then a trainer. World-class regression. Dan Winters. I don't understand the whole staff because it's like the money isn't a big deal. There's no real competition. It should be something different. Draft Marquise Walker from Kalispell. I really enjoyed that series. Mike Tomlin is the new head coach of the Chicago Bears, as Brian Urlacher and the ownership group have gone in a completely new direction, one that hopefully brings a lot more positivity to the Chicago Bears franchise. And then we hired the scout too. Excellent. And the Super Bowl, I think it's a rematch. I think it's the rematch. I already forgot how I check this stuff. Team schedule. There, I'm getting it figured out. I got lost for a moment there. New England and Atlanta, part 2. All right. That's what we have here, huh? Oh, we're in Pro Bowl week, by the way, so we have to see if we had any Pro Bowlers. The Steelers hired John Fox. We just traded coaches. That is hilarious. I know some of you saw that before I did. I just wanted to verify. Wow, that's hilarious. Let me check on Pro Bowls. Matt Ryan. No Mitchell Trubisky. Jordan Howard makes it as a Pro Bowler. Good for him. Michael Burton. Those touchdowns help. No receivers. No tight ends. Not seeing any offensive linemen. Nothing here yet. Pernell McPhee makes it. I'm sure we're all, you know, expected that. So just a few. Just a couple. Pat O'Donnell makes it. So not a ton of Pro Bowlers. But we're hoping that next year we have a few more on our team. Do we have any transactions happening yet, like retirements? Is it too early? Or is it just head coaches and whatnot? All right. So who is the Super Bowl champion heading into the next year? We go to Super Bowl week to find out. Your series might be wrong this time, man. I hope it is. I hope it is. We can scout this week, though. Hire staff. Still need a team trainer. Offer rejected. Can I try again? But it says signed with Bears. I don't understand. David Guerra says, I think the Bears should hire Jim Harbaugh in real life. That'd be interesting. I feel like the Jim Harbaugh, like, Michigan honeymoon is over now just because they haven't had, like, the top tier success, although he definitely turned them around fast. I wonder what's going to happen there. So we have scouting points again. That's great news. Unfortunately, this seems like a very weak class, so I'm not sure there are, you know, a lot of players to be excited about, but we will look at ones that you should be excited about. For right now, I just want to try finding some more surprises, hopefully, in the later rounds at areas of concern. Trying to find like some B-man coverage. B-. Spencer Dean, welcome to the watch list. Rashad McKinney, no. Alright, let's leave corner. Were there offensive linemen I didn't scout? Okay, Bennett Jennings for a 7th rounder. That is not bad. It's C pass block. It's just this. These screens get glitchy this year. I might as well see what these other offensive linemen look like too. Ah, man, the pass block is low. Why is everyone's pass block so low? Points go pretty quick. All right, advance to the offseason, everybody. Tall corners only. Kane, I do want to get a tall corner. Pair up with a Mukamara for a couple of years. That'd be nice. A lot of the corners, though, I think are like 5'11", if I don't remember correctly. Yeah, there are a lot of bugs in this year's Madden. It's really disappointing. So, we have 11 players ready to negotiate, and the Falcons are the champs. So, if my series is to predict the 5th straight Super Bowl champion, it will be the Atlanta Falcons this time around as they get their revenge. There you go. Let's see. Draft stories. Oh, 2? And it's for a guard? So I guess we better check on its re-sign. We want to look at retirements. Do the Bears have anyone retire? Sean Hill retired. The Bears. Quentin Demps has retired. That's the only one. And he was a veteran safety. That was a backup, so that's not a huge loss for us. No starters. Now as we go to this screen. trades are already turned on. Trades were turned on this morning when I got back on the game. Okay. So here are the players left on our board, although I thought I withdrew from most of these. Russell will get a chance in training camp. Thompson will let him go. Oh, it lists everybody, even if I already did this. David Guerra sends a super chat. I just realized Derek Jeter literally bought a whole team just so the Yankees would get Giancarlo Stanton. Yeah, that's an easy game to connect the dots to play. I was hoping he'd go elsewhere. I guess Stanton wants to start winning. He took a pay cut to do it. Now he's going to have to pay a lot more taxes on that 30 mil, what is it, 30 mil a year salary? 300 mil 10 year? J-Rob sends a super chat. Kane, I hope your Super Bowl prediction is right, because after what happened last year, God knows I need it. And what did you think about the Thursday Night Football matchup? I thought it was a pretty fun game to watch. I like watching NFC South football, and I was shocked that the Saints didn't win it, especially when the Falcons were giving up the game late. I've watched the Falcons give up a lot of games in the final minutes or in the second half over the years, and this was one they recovered from, and Deion Jones really saved their chances at the division crown, getting a home playoff game. Not giving a huge offer here to Kalikapi. I'm not sure on that one. He's gonna stick around though. Bradley Sowell, we let him go. Mitch Unrein, we let him go. Barth, Carey, Christian Jones. I think we'll let him test. Thoughts on Monday's Steelers-Bengals game? Oh, man. Well, obviously, hate to see anything like what happened to Ryan Shazier happen to any player. And obviously, it doesn't look like the situation is very good. And there hasn't been a whole lot of actual, like, official news on it. So, I guess you hope for the best in that situation. But, yeah, I mean, those... And not even that hit. That wasn't like you know, a super, you know, it wasn't, what am I trying to say? It wasn't like a dirty play that he made. But those games just always have a lot of physicality, and I think we've come to know what that rivalry is all about. It's just kind of reached a tipping point, I think. It's Kelly Keepy. That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. What do you think about the Buccaneers? I think they're making me look bad by not being a great team this year. I thought the NFC South was up for grabs because I did not expect the Saints to be very good, yet they are. And I thought that if the Buccaneers offense was great, they would have the firepower to overcome everybody else in that division. And there's another thing about that one too. As we'll let Fuller go. We'll let O'Donnell test. One more super chat. If Pats are in Super Bowl 52, who do you think has the best chance of beating them? That's a great question. To beat the Patriots. I mean... I have to say the top two options would be the Eagles or the Vikings. And one of the keys to stopping the Patriots is you have to make your tackles. You can't give them yards after the catch. The Vikings have done a very good job at limiting yards after catch for the last couple of years. They're very good against screens, and they tackle really well. And they get teams into very bad third down situations. The Eagles, they've also been very good on both sides of the football. The Vikings and Eagles have some of the same strengths. The Vikings have probably a better secondary, but the Eagles' front seven is loaded. I'd say the Vikings because of their defense and the fact that they have multiple receivers, Diggs and Thielen, that they can attack you with, and they can move Thielen around, and they also haven't had a lot of injuries this year. They've stayed pretty healthy for the most part. There's been a couple high-profile injuries, of course, but the Eagles have a million running backs they can use. Aguilar's playing well. They, of course, have Jeffrey, so I guess they kind of fit that mold as well. Hard to give either one an edge when New England's so good. But I think at least with a player like Rhodes, you eliminate one of the battles. I think both teams have good safety play. Do you think Teddy Bridgewater starts any games this season? At this point, I'm not really thinking he will. It's going to take something we can't predict to happen. Either, you know, we see Case Keenum not play well at some point, or he gets hurt. You can't really predict injuries. All right, Cam Meredith. I got to make some moves here. Good offer. Okay, Meredith, deal done. David Guerra asks, if Keenum leads the Vikings to the Super Bowl, do you still want them to re-sign Bridgewater and let Keenum walk? I think that they'll have the flexibility to give Keenum and Bridgewater deals that offer them a lot of versatility. If they sign both those players to offers without a lot guaranteed and tie a lot into like roster bonuses or incentives of some kind, that might be the route to take. So here for Hicks, I'm just a little confused about what I should do. I'm going to give him this offer. Or maybe I'll probably just tag him and then I'll give him that contract. Because obviously Hicks needs to stay on the team. And I'll just edit his contract later. So we'll let Miller go. What about Bradford? Well, I think at this point, they obviously love Teddy Bridgewater. And you can't ignore what has happened with Keenum this year. And then you consider Bradford's injury history and his age along with it, and I think that Bradford is not going to be in the mix going forward for the Vikings. I'm going to save it here in a second. Yeah, I'm not sure if Keenum, like, if they went to the Super Bowl or something like that, or Keenum just kept playing on fire, what kind of deal he'd be looking for. Because, I mean, he's getting up there in age too. He's got time for one more contract to really make his money. So he's not going to take a $2 million salary again. I mean, he and Mike Glennon should trade contracts this year. Teddy, on the other hand, they might be able to work out a more team-friendly deal. But at the same time, there'd be a team that want Teddy to start, but no one knows his medical as well as the Vikings do, so... So it's free agent time, it appears. I need to check the transaction log quick. So it says we re-sign Akeem Hicks to a 2-year, $22.2 million contract. We keep Meredith. We're going to have to try getting back Kendall Wright. Did you re-sign Kyle Fuller? I did not, just because he's too zone-oriented for what I want to do moving into the future. Here are some retirements with Terrell Suggs, Brian Robinson, Joe Berger, Cameron Wake, that's a big one, James Harrison, Adrian Peterson. No! I wrote down 2 tackles that I would be willing to sign in free agency, and one just retired, Donald Penn. That leaves us with Sebastian Vollmer, who's already in his 30s and not as good as Penn. A lot of good players retiring here. So let me just check out our roster quick. I want to see our full breakdown. Obviously, with Mike Glennon's major contract, we're gonna cut him right now. I'm not gonna try trading him and screw over a team. We have released Mike Glennon. So we need a new backup for Mitchell Trubisky. Maybe it is Glennon, just not at that price point ever again. A wide receiver. We did not retain Kendall Wright. I will try to get him back or find someone else to fill that role. There are options I wrote down. You want to hear the receivers I liked? John Brown for a downfield threat. Dontrell Inman, whom they traded for in real life. Dante Moncrief. Marquise Lee, who would fill in the Kendall Wright role. Quincy Enunwa, and Paul Richardson. A lot of centers. Akeem Hicks, Bullard, Goldman, Floyd, Trevathan, Freeman, McPhee. Okay. And keep in mind, I do have to save some money for when players like Leonard Floyd become free agents, and just to make sure we have a good future. So let's check out the free agents now. The top is Drew Brees, then Larry Fitzgerald, Ladarius Green, Cameron Brate, Sharif Floyd. If we check out the tackles, there's Greg Robinson. There is Sebastian Vollmer here. I mean, on a one-year contract, I think I have to make an offer. We're looking for a veteran that can step in. Not going to be a lot of money, but I have to put an offer out there. At cornerback, I talked about the two that I had interest in. A lot of older corners here. Terrence Newman still not retiring. Wow. Respect. Kyle Fuller has a market. Wow. A pretty strong one, too. Drake Kirkpatrick. Very zone-oriented. Sam Shields. Regressed a little bit, sadly. EJ Gaines. Could probably sign him later. Darquez Dennard. 79 man. I told you options were pretty thin. Okay, so if we go to backup quarterback, whoa, Teddy could be going down to Florida. Jimmy Garoppolo is available. He should get a market at some point. Cutler, it's time to return. Or maybe not. Case Keenum. 85 short accuracy. 81 for Glennon. I'll put an offer out for Keenum for like a year. I've actually had Keenum as a backup before in a series, and that was my Jaguars franchise. He had to step in a game and led us to a miraculous late game victory. It was one of my favorite games on the channel, probably. And in honor of what he's doing this year for the Vikings, I will offer a $2 million contract. Case Keenum. Yeah, what are the Bengals going to do at cornerback now? It's like William Jackson, and that's it. Running back. Probably nothing I'm going to do here. Let's go to wide receiver. That's the one that could be interesting. Not anybody I have to really bid up on. And you see Lee, Brown, and Moncrief all have markets. Enunwa, though, doesn't. So Quincy Enunwa. I don't want to pay a lot of money right now. I have to see if he can carve out a role, but I believe in the talent. So if we give him $1 million signing bonus, 2 years, $7 million, I like Enunwa a lot, and he could help us rebuild this receiver core. Paul Richardson for a speed threat. I'd also like to acquire him. Obviously for less money. Cordero Patterson. Oh, he has a market with one team. No, I'm not going to sign Joe Mixon just because the game always releases him. If Zach Miller doesn't have much of a market, I'd like to bring him back on another contract. He could still be really good and help us bridge that gap between our next starting tight end. From Josh Price, a super chat asking, I think the Ravens can make a deep playoff run. I don't. If they do, it's going to be behind their defense, which has gotten a lot better. But unless they could figure out, you know, a way to get more explosive on offense or more consistent, I don't think they're a team built for that. They might be able to win like one playoff game in the right matchup, but I think they're going to have a hard enough time just making it to the postseason this year. So if you look at my negotiations, we have Zach Miller, Quincy Enunwa, Sebastian Vollmer, Case Keenum, and Paul Richardson. I have not offered on a corner yet. I should try to find at least one. And also look at kicker. Matt Prater. I could go for Matt Prater. Punter. Pat O'Donnell. How about 2 years? And then we go to cornerback. Terrence Newman. I wouldn't be against a player like Newman at 39 years old, honestly. Because I know it's going to be hard to get good cornerbacks. I'm not willing to do much on the signing bonus. I'll go 4.76 mil a year on a Terrence Newman 1-year contract. And one thing I'm not going to do in this franchise is I'm not going to move any cornerbacks to safety just because they would have higher zone coverage. I've done that on so many franchises before. Deshaun Shedd. Wow, he's already 29? Maybe Jeremy Lane. Oh, there's Callahan, too. I like Callahan more than Lane. I might pull the offer for Lane. I know I just offered you, but I was kidding. So I think I've made the offers that I want to make. I tried to get a good plan going into the offseason because as soon as this starts, I have like 4,000 ideas thrown at me. And it's too much paralysis by analysis, basically. How many views are we even at? I'm not watching on the page that even lets me see how many views there are. Oh, 1,700? Are you kidding me? It's way more than I thought there'd be. I thought maybe like 1,000 or 1,100. That's awesome. Thank you all. Quincy Enunwa accepts the contract. He was one I really wanted to get. We also get Bryce Callahan, Pat O'Donnell, but the rest have not accepted. They have also not rejected. Didn't say no. So that definitely helps our situation at wide receiver, looking for answers into the future, having Cameron Meredith and Quincy Enunwa. And one of the reasons why I wanted to get Enunwa is because if Meredith were to get hurt again, we never had a backup for him on the roster. No one who filled all those roles he could play. We'd hope that Kevin White could do that, but he didn't have a great season for us. His route running's low, catching is a little low. But Quincy Enunwa gives us either a great counterpart or a backup plan for Cameron Meredith. So that's great. And then we also get Callahan and O'Donnell back. Let's scout. I think I've scouted all the tackles and whatnot. Why don't we go defensive tackle? There were so many mid-round players. Oh, I forgot. Now it's combine grade time. I checked Josh Gordon's ratings, and they're not as good as you think they are. I know everyone's saying Josh Gordon. So I want to see this draft board. AJ Johnstone was my top player, and he's got the strength to go with the power moves and that tackling. I'm almost sad that defensive line isn't a major need for us because Johnstone is so good. Isaac Peters. Not a blazing speed back, but great elusiveness, and he's going to have agility as well. So he's going to be a fun back for somebody. Sherman Poyer. 4.4 speed, but no, he's got 4.4 speed and a good 3 cone, so he should have good speed and agility to go with the catching, release, and route running. Frederick Chickalow. Great bench, great athletic traits there too. Now, when I think about filling our need at tackle, Chickalow might be our only option. He's a first-round prospect, early first-round prospect. He has B pass block. And out of all the other tackles I have scouted, he is the only one with pass block above B-. Daron Bridges has a B- pass block, but lower impact and run block. I feel like we have one option to get a tackle this year, and it's Frederick Chickalow. How about at corner, you might ask? I like Jonathan Powell. And Powell... 4.47 40, good agility, good broad jump and leaping. Jonathan Powell is a player I like a lot. There's also Bernard Salisbury at 5'10", Powell's 5'11", from Wisconsin. And then there were prospects that were projected to be undrafted talents, and obviously these combines are not great. These mid-sixes at cornerback are not what you're looking for. I feel like I don't have enough options to fill my needs. I feel like I'm really forced into a couple spots. Hey, Curtis Brightful. Had a good vert. Did not have good agility or 40, though. Not the most athletic pass rusher. Other wide receivers. Naquan Paul. 4.27? Are you kidding me? And an amazing 3 cone? Wow. That's a gadget player right there. Naquan Paul. How about Rashad Simpson? We have a 4.5, 4.40. Excellent agility in the 3 cone. Marshall Curtis. Good shuttle, good 3 cone, decent 40. Antonio Bryant, 4.48. Wow, with that kind of catching and at 6'6", how is he that a 6-round talent? Camille Shea, not as great. Marquis Cole, very fast, great leaping, 6'2", and the best in bench press. Marquis Cole might be an intriguing player to target later in the draft. How about Tay McCarthy? That vert at 6'5" could be dangerous. Those are basically the top players on my board. Good agility here again. The receivers all had very similar strengths. Rashawn Miles, 4'4", 40. Pierce Agnew. Wow, he's going to be good. 21 years old, too. That guy's probably got superstar development. But we have more players we can potentially scout. So let's try to find some intriguing combines to attack. Let's go. I need to find some pass rusher depth, right? So how about we look for some good combine standouts. Lawrence Porter from Northern Iowa. That's what I'm talking about. B power. He's going to have high strength. That's good tools. Then we go to right outside backer. No standouts. How about at end? I can move someone to a pass rushing spot for us. Trying to find like higher sixes. DeJohn Ives. Okay. Good enough for the board. Leighton Woods. Yes. And now my draft board's getting all messed up again. I haven't seen it do this before. This is a new one. Alan Walton. Very good prospect there, it looks like. Jalen Egbo from South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of people think we have to go Chicolo. It is the only option we really have. Many think that I would trade down like 3 times, acquire a million picks, and draft like half the players on the board. But honestly, that's not what I feel like is the right move. I think I have to be more aggressive in attacking my needs. I can't be passive, trade down, trade down, trade down. That's what you do when you have a lot of options. But we can't afford to settle if we actually want to upgrade these positions. It doesn't work that way in this class. How about a tight end athlete? We're going to make that a new tradition. Oh, come on. CJ Miles? Doesn't he play for like the Pacers or something? Who does CJ Miles play for? I think he's on a new team or something like that. Oh yeah, speaking of 2K, I actually busted out 2K the other night, and I'll have you know that in my first game, I lost to the Suns with the Timberwolves by almost 30. I think at my lowest, I was down by like 40 points, but I came back to make it like a 27-point finish. I turned on, like, instead of the shot meter, I put on like true percentage. I'm not sure if I messed it up, but I couldn't hit like shots for the first like half. I'm not sure why. I couldn't hit open jumpers. I couldn't hit anything with like Teague, Wiggins, Butler. I had to start going into the paint just to start getting buckets. It was disappointing. No one wants to compete for these players. Raptors? Okay. You should do a 2K franchise? Well, the reason I got it is because I think that's going to become a streaming thing. I think I want to start streaming that like once a week. And we can work on getting me to know the game of basketball a bit better and to have some fun in the Wolves franchise. You might say their team is too easy, but I'll have you know I'm terrible at the game, so it ain't going to be very easy. I played offline. I'm not going to play 2K's My Career or anything online. I'm just playing strictly My League. True percentage isn't based off numbers? Then what is it based off of? Can't look at your cap room? Oh, I know it's very low. It's very low, but it also takes into account that we could sign all these players. Might not be the case. And we already have cap room set aside for the rookies, so that's not going to be a concern. I think it even shows that on the salary screen. What time is it? 1:54. Rookie reserve, 12.6. So, yeah, we're fine. I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Thank you for all the super chats that have been sent so far. No, looks like I am all caught up. Re-edit Hicks contract? Not right now. I was recording when I happened to edit his contract the first time. Took 10 minutes. It worked that slowly. I was doing everything I could to make the numbers go up faster. 10 straight minutes I sat here holding the controller in the most optimal way that would let it go up the fastest. 10 minutes. So that's happening later. A lot of people like Egbo. Contracts accepted by Matt Prater, by by Paul Richardson. We have more to spend. How are these quarterbacks? I like Andrew Leonard, but he ain't running anywhere. He's a pocket passer from Charleston State or Southern. Egbo, add him to the draft board. Did I not do that? I will certainly make sure to do so. Anyone remember what position Egbo was? I will find him. I thought I did add him to the list, though. Maybe I did not. I forget which one Egbo was. Tight end, get your stuff together here. Look at this. DT, thank you. There we go. Jalen Egbo. South Dakota State. Martinez Morrison. Howard Thomas. Already scouted some of his ratings. Any receivers I may have overlooked that could be super fast or super strong or something. Anton Potts. Henry McClam. Okay. Henry McClam from Western Kentucky. Bennett Dutka. We have options at receiver, but I still want to address that. Looking for some surprises. The spec catch was a surprise. That's all there is, though. Super chat, thank you from Belik Sukra. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. I think the offense can get really consistent with a boost to the O-line. It isn't the most exciting pick, but the excitement will come with consistency. Very much. Hard to celebrate an O-line move in the offseason. Unless it was, like, the biggest name at that position. Like, if a team signed Tyron Smith, they would be ecstatic. But when they sign Riley Reif, you wait to see, you know, that Reif plays like a top-tier tackle pretty much. And then things are exciting because they're all consistent. So, you're very correct. I will be doing preseason highlights this year, yes. I just skipped preseason in year one because I don't want to play it. I wait so long for the game to come out, for rosters to get set, for the sliders to be ready. Last thing I want to do is replay a preseason after we watch it in real life. So, I'm not doing year one preseasons. Year two, yes. I want to see these players as much as everybody else. Ooh, Lawrence Elmore. That's speed. Yes. Wait, did I say Lawrence? Completely just didn't even bother reading his name. Lamonte Elmore, I'm sorry. And strong safeties still destroying the combine, I can see. Okay. Vincent Cardona. Johnny Gash. I'd like to know more. C+ zone, I can work with that. I have seen so many comments about my hair. It's that bad, huh? It is that bad. You mean like when the Rams signed Whitworth? Yeah, there were reasons to be excited about that. Contracts rejected by Case Keenum and Zach Miller, but accepted by Terrence Newman. Wow. So we still need a quarterback. Where'd Miller go? Eddie Lacy to the Panthers. Zach Miller goes to the Ravens. Okay. I didn't even see them get into the race. Otherwise, I would have probably paid that. Yeah, Josh Gordon didn't get paid very much. Like I said, his ratings weren't what you'd think they are. So now I have to think about tight end again. Keenum to the Jets, $8 million a year. Ooh, I was not getting him at 2. No. But we got Terrence Newman. How about that? And I'm still going to have to sign or draft a quarterback. Let's make sure we find all the athletes to scout here. Okay. Marcus Wilkinson, Craig Warner. There was that safety I wanted to continue scouting, Johnny Gash. I think I want Johnny Gash. I think I've scouted all the draftable tight ends. Not all of them. So we know he can't block if his run block is not above a D. I'm not sure if that's what we're looking for, but I'll put him on the board. I haven't looked at the running backs much. I know that most of you are focused on whether I'm going to take one or not. I'm going to see what they're all about. Rashawn Mays. I mean, he's not bad. Southern Arkansas in the 7th round. Aaron Norris. I can probably take him off the board, honestly. Thank you for the super chat, Michael Hunter. Hey, Kane, could you flash through your sliders quickly? I could. They're also in the description of this video, though. So if you want to just check that, they're right there. I've kept them in the description of every episode this year because I get questions so much. Sounds like you need Donnie Castillo, Kane. You know, I could use Donnie Castillo right now. Actually, Hayden John Charles. Spend less points here on Demetric Henry. That's good, thanks. Okay, thank you, Michael. Michael Hunter is oddly enough a name of a player in my Kalispell dynasty, too. So, we are prepared for the draft. And we have 2 quarterbacks on the roster, but is Wes Lunt making the team? What do you think? Jordan Howard, Benny Cunningham, Tariq Cohen. At receiver, Cam Meredith, Quincy Enunwa, Marcus Wheaton, Paul Richardson, Kevin White. Deion Sims, Adam Shaheen at tight end. We could not upgrade the offensive line like I hoped to. Then defensively, we still need cornerback help and backup pass rushers really badly. So, oh, actually, I was wrong. We did address cornerback by getting Terrence Newman. 39 years old. All right. Let me save it quick. We've gone through a lot of stuff here. Kane, I want to rebuild a defensive front. Which team should I pick? What about a team like the Colts? There's more than just an offense or a defensive line to build there, but at least you can build around players like Malik Hooker. Maybe you can make Quincy Wilson into a star. And you get T.Y. on offense. Try to keep Moncrief. Get Marlon Mack into the mix. Colts could be fun. Feels like your team got older. It did. We rely on a lot of veterans that are now 1 year older. All right. It's showtime, everybody. This is what everybody shows up for, right? It's the draft. Did you get Pat O'Donnell back? Forget. 27 Super Yankees. Terrence Oldman. I will see my way out. Please. Go get your Stanton jersey now. Has it been made official yet? Looking at players who are still available, by the way. Oh, man. Cutler could return. It's unbelievable. I wonder, oh, Inman's there, if I want to sign him later. I want to see league signings, though. Just, I want to see where players went. Breeze to the Chiefs. Wow, shocker. Garoppolo to the Giants. Keenum to the Jets. McCarron to the Saints. Then at tailback, Ware goes to Washington. Carolina gets Lacey. We saw that. They also got Kadeem Carey. Tampa rolling with Charles Sims. Mixon to the Jets. Jeremy Hill to the Patriots. Belichick does not like running backs who fumble. Fitz to the Cowboys. Lee goes to Detroit. John Brown. Wow, he's going to pair up with T.Y. And they're going to keep Moncrief in the process. Gabriel to the Jets. I wanted to see where, what's his face went? Marquise Lee. Or, Kendall Wright. I wanted to keep Kendall Wright. But I kind of forgot to check his stuff out. He goes to the Arizona Cardinals. I could have swore we offered something very similar to that. Let's draft. It's time. The NFL draft for Season 1 in the Bears franchise, and as expected, we pick number 2, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. Now, as we know our main needs now, we have to address offensive line, and there's only one option, really. It's an early first-round prospect, the best pass blocker in the draft. It's Frederick Chickillo. Now, the Steelers do not need Chickillo. They have Marcus Gilbert at right tackle and Alejandro Villanueva at left tackle, so there's no reason for them to take a tackle in this spot. But what do the Pittsburgh Steelers do with this rare opportunity? Well, we're about to find out. Wow, they took Simpson number 1? That's a shocker. That is a shocker. Simpson. I can't look at who they scouted? Huh. I think he was a first-round prospect, but I also thought Sherman Poyer was easily the best receiver. Wow. I thought Simpson might be there in the second round. I think one of these good receivers will be there, perhaps. Caveman 011. Over 2,300 are watching. Can we get more likes? No way. Do we have 2,300? That would be a new record. I don't think I've cracked 2,000 very often. Wow, we do have 2,300 viewers right now. Thank you all for showing up. That is outstanding. Do smash that like button if you're enjoying the offseason right now. The Chicago Bears are on the clock. Remember, we have a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and 2 4s. The third was given up in the deal to acquire Mitchell Trubisky. So we are on the clock at number 2. And we all know we basically have one option right here. And I'm more than prepared to make it. Frederick Chickillo, 23 years old. Great impact block, great pass block. We can work on the run blocking. He's going to be very strong, very agile. Welcome to Chicago. He's 25th in true talent. He is an early first-round prospect, though. So he wasn't going to make it far, especially being the best tackle. So, I'm trying to get my notebook here. Which one am I using today? There we go. So, first, Frederick Chickillo. Left tackle, 77 normal. I would have liked to have a little bit better development, but look at the impact blocking. The pass block's already good. This is exactly what we needed, and we weren't going to get this anywhere else. It's not a pick that people are going to praise up and down until it actually pays off. Now, I kind of want to see how the board falls because I would still like to address corner. I'd still like to maybe look at a receiver. So I kind of want to see how the board falls. Maybe trade up if the opportunity is there. But right now the cost to be so high, I'm not even going to check. 3 more picks off the board. Agnew, McKnight, and Nolan. A.J. Johnstone heads out to Tampa Bay. Carolina, Naquan Paul, the speedy gadget player. Sherman Poyer heads down to New Orleans. Rashawn Miles to the Bills. Another receiver going to the Browns who took a middle linebacker earlier. That was Agnew, the player I said should have superstar development. Amazing traits and only 21 years old. The Seahawks select Jonathan Powell at 14. Again, higher than I want to trade up. And there's Salisbury, the next one that I liked. Let me check my board here. So, the receivers are gone, the corners are gone. We'll now have to wait longer on cornerback. This is not all ranked very organized on the overall board just because there were too many players to rank. So, if I look at the available players, there are some guards that are interesting but aren't great pass blockers. Yeah, now I'm not sure what I want my next pick to be. I like some of these receivers, but there are so many options. I can wait. And if I want to address corner again, who are my best players? I'm making sure these are all correct, by the way. I need to like go in and out to check. So, Bryant Powers, who's an undrafted talent. We can't take him very early. Dwayne Chambers, kind of the same deal. Those combine scores weren't very good. Yeah, look at, they're all like undrafted like talents though. How does that happen? Okay. Let's just continue. Into the 20s now. A halfback goes off the board. Getting closer to our next pick as Kelly goes to the Ravens. Antoine Hood to the Jaguars. There was only one first-round caliber quarterback, and the Ravens got him. And now, we find ourselves on the clock again at 34. If we want to make a selection here. I can't believe he's available. You're kidding me. Isaac Peters with the insane 3-cone, great elusiveness, carrying, and juke. Early first-round talent. Why is he falling? I can't believe he's here. Wow. The game had to throw this situation my way, talking about how I'm not going to draft a running back, and they let this guy fall. That's unreal, man. Oh. And the comments are just rolling through. So many take him, don't take him. Yeah, we are in interesting situations. We don't need him. That's what I will say. We don't need him. He is definitely the most talented player on the board right here. But it's not like he's going to come out with like 95 speed. Remember, he'd have like 89 or lower. And I like Benny Cunningham, and I like Tariq Cohen. I want to see what my trade down options are. A first-round pick next year, potentially, from Cincinnati and Denver. Ooh, and a fourth this year. A lot of future first-round picks. I'm tempted to take Denver's offer then. Not just trade down, but trade out. And if I do that, we don't pick again till the 4th round. But this is not a great class. There's not a whole lot I can fix right now. I'd get another 4th round pick too. Denver, you've got a deal. We're getting our second first round pick next year, because this class just is not worth it right now. And Denver trades up for the right end. Stover. So how far is that running back going to fall? Peters goes to the Colts at 41 overall. I can't believe that. Making good time, especially considering I don't have a 3rd round pick. Isaac Peters would have been a nice luxury, but ultimately there's one football. Oh, there goes Antonio Bryant to the 49ers. You know, I thought that in this draft I'd either have to, like, trade up for multiple first-round picks or trade out and just wait. So next year we have more draft ammo, and hopefully it's a much better class. This is a really disappointing one. We got a left tackle. And now we're going to see what kind of value we can get later. We have 3 4th round picks. And a chance to add some depth to the roster. I knew it would be a tougher offseason. That's just kind of how this one was. Options were so limited for filling our needs. I want to see how far apart all of our picks are, though. As we now enter the 4th round. We pick at 98. We pick at 112 and 118. We've taken 1 player. Normally I'm the get 10 player guy. Not this year. We've taken 1 so far. So as I check out my draft board, top player on the board is Camille Shea. Then Marquis Cole. I think I like Cole more. He's just a burner. Marquis Cole could be really interesting. Late 4th round prospect. If we check out the receivers on the board, Marquis Cole is way down the list. If we check out corners, there's Antari's Ruff from Georgia. He has decent man coverage. Speed isn't going to be great. There's also Bryant Powers. Thankfully, I have this board just to see all the players that I still like, and there are 32 on the board. So, Shea, Cole, Powers, Brightful, Hepburn, Julius Newman. Of course, this is all messed up now. Back to normal. Egbo. A lot of people like Egbo. And he is... Where's Egbo? 6th round prospect. Yes, we want to get Jalen Egbo, but this is not the time. There was a quarterback I liked, Andrew Leonard, that I wanted to get at some point. Was he the best on the board? He's second best. We're taking the quarterback. Andrew Leonard. Wow, slow dev. But a 76 overall. He's ranked 33 in true talent. But that gives us now a backup quarterback. Even with slow development, he has decent ratings to do that job. So we fill that need. And no longer have to sign Jay Cutler. No one's going to like that pick right now. Actually, the chat's saying quarterback a million times. Maybe they will like this. How many are watching right now? 2,400 just saw me draft a quarterback in the 4th round for a team with a lot of other needs. I want to make sure I didn't have anybody all messed up here because of the draft board. Where's Egbo? 6th rounder. Okay. So now I have 2 more 4th round picks. I'd love to come away with a receiver like Marquise Cole. And maybe a defensive lineman, a pass rusher. And there are still a lot of receivers on the board. Ferguson goes. Baldwin goes. We have to make it to 112. McLean. Shade. Peters. Ruff. Wilbur. Gray. Thank you. We've done a lot of work to get playmakers on this team, I feel. We're trying. Camille Shea. No, it was Marquise Cole, the one that I liked the most. 4th round prospect. I think Cole, I mean, with that speed, with the leaping ability, with the strength, and the catching traffic, and the catching, I don't see him disappointing me. They say it's a reach. He can't run great routes, that's for sure. But we'll see what we can do. I really wanted to get Marquise Cole. I think the chat's going to like that one too. Maybe not when they see the route running. There goes Hepburn off the board. There's Camille Shea. So I think I took the receiver at the right time if I was going to do it now. Now, with our 3rd, 4th round pick, I think I have to address defense. We've gone offense, offense, offense. And Bryant Powers has B-man coverage. I know the combine on him wasn't great. But let's go get Bryant Powers now. 87 speed, 84 man, 77 zone. Alright. I knew what I was getting into. I'm cool with that. They call it a reach. But I think at this point, how do you not get a reach? Everybody's supposed to be like an undrafted talent at this point. I mean, obviously there are some that aren't. But, they're hard to find. I know the Egbo comments are all over the place right now. Egbo is currently the 3rd ranked defensive tackle on the board. And we're going to pick again very soon. Remember, this was like toward the end of the 4th round, so our pick isn't like 30 away. We have to make it to 130. Going one by one, though, is very nerve-wracking. 130. I knew this wouldn't be a draft class that could really wow us without like 3 first-round picks. That's where all the talent was. Jalen Egbo. We're gonna get the defensive tackle right here. Quick development, 17th in true talent. Are you kidding me? Wow, I didn't find him till today. That is awesome. That'll lift everybody's spirits for sure about this class. 73 speed, 83 block shed, 81 power, 90 strength. He's a beast. 82 hit power. We'll move him around the defensive line. Now we have some depth to rotate in with Bullard. He and Jonathan Bullard could be like a second line to come in. Like how the Panthers did some rotating for a while with Star Latulele and K'Wan Short. And they'd kind of pair him up with some backups on that defensive line. So Egbo. Good thing I did not miss out, because I would not have heard the end of that. To not get a great player and then to miss out on a player like Egbo wouldn't have worked well. So, feeling pretty good now that we can just sit with our remaining picks and see what we can do. It was a tough offseason. Like, there were so few opportunities to address these needs. And I feel like I handled it fairly well. Curtis Brightful off the board. I know many wanted to see me get Brightful just so he gets spun out. I hope to still have players on the board by the time I pick, too. There goes CJ Miles. Bang, on the clock again. In the 6th round. Draft board still has 12 players. That's awesome. I feel like an outside linebacker would be what I'd like to get. Dante Rooks. Man. Julius Newman. Oh, it messed up the ratings. I'd like one of these last picks to be Johnny Gash, the safety. I also like Marcus Wilkinson. Julius Newman. Speed rusher. It'd be hard just to pass on Dante Rooks at this point at 22 years old. I think we go Rooks right here. Another defensive lineman. I like my pass rushers. I can't ignore a B+ at a skill like that. This gives us some depth. He'll need some work though, for sure. So one more pick. A lot of people wanted Ives there. And there goes Ives to Carolina. Tay McCarthy is off the board. I can't wait to check out some of these ratings for other players when we're done here. And we're almost on the clock for our last selection in the 7th round. Johnny Gash off the board. That sucks. Board still has 6 players. That's pretty cool. Rashawn Mays. Anton Scherf, Marcus Wilkinson, Bennett Jennings, Carson Crittenden, Leighton Woods. I've already taken 2 defensive linemen. So I did not address safety. Maybe I would have liked to take Johnny Gash there instead and have him complete one of our needs here. So what to do with our final pick? A lot of people saying Mays. He had a great combine. We know he's going to be pretty fast. It's hard to ignore that. 7th round running back. If I don't take him and I still want him, he is the 5th rated running back on the board right now. Bennett Jennings. Ooh. Nope, no running back. Bennett Jennings, 53 in true talent. Just not a great pass blocker, but maybe we can work on that. Need some intangible work too. I did not draft a running back, and I almost did. I hope he's still available because I want to sign him. But that's pretty impressive right there. Bennett Jennings. He's as good as like Charles Leno. I was faced with 2 prime opportunities to draft running backs in this draft, and I didn't. Not to prove a point, because it wasn't the right move. Don't take the guy I wanted now. Running backs just flying off the board. Trade up for Mays in the 7th round. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I'm tempted. He's a really good talent. Rayshawn Mays. Great juke, spin, he'll have speed, agility, strength. He's a 3rd running back on the board. We have to give up future capital to do it. No, Mays goes to Dallas. Other running backs ranked above him, and they take Mays. Wow. I would have considered it again if another running back got taken. All right, the draft is over. I did not draft any running backs or acquire any in free agency. Although, I really wanted to get Rayshawn Mays. So I'll have to see how good he is. So this is our draft class. Frederick Chickalow, Andrew Leonard, Marquis Cole, Bryant Powers, Jalen Egbo, Dante Rooks, and Bennett Jennings. We do our best to address our needs, and I think that we did about as good as we could have, considering the circumstances here. We couldn't fill them all in the 1st round. We couldn't fill almost any of them in free agency. We ended up with players like Quincy and Nunwa, Chickalow, Terrence Newman. We did our best, but now I have 2 first-round picks to continue the building next year. That might have been the quickest Kane draft. I want to see how good Mays was, though. Did I just make a horrible mistake by not giving up a future 6th-round pick or something? Ooh, I saw the overall. He's good. He's quick development. He's solid. Great speed, carrying, juke. Please cut him. Like, you don't need him. Don't keep him. You already drafted DeMar Trannon. You're fine. Anyway, why don't we check out other teams' classes? Bengals. Moses McKnight. 92 strength, quick development, good block shed. Solid player, needs to develop into his strengths, though. Caveman 011 sends a super chat. You still need a kicker? Crittenden wasn't picked. Exactly. Oh, wow. Rashawn Miles. First 80 overall here. Superstar development. Very nice. Cadron Rivers. Nice impact blocking. I'm not sure I scouted him because I don't remember seeing A- impact block. The Broncos. Ooh, not a good first round selection in Derek Carlson. But you kind of make up for it later. The Browns. Pierce Agnew. Only normal development, but how much developing do you have to do to a guy with these ratings? Marshall Curtis. Okay, gotta improve the route running. And another good middle linebacker later. And a rock solid center. Nice pick. We don't need one though. Cody Whitehair is at least young. AJ Johnstone, remember? Number 1 on my board. Deserving so, it looks like. 91 strength, 90 or 89 power move. If he's playing on the same line as Gerald McCoy, watch out. The Cardinals. Demetrius Flemister. Nice set of ratings there. Not bad. And they took a slow dev quarterback with bad short accuracy, but good deep and medium, I guess? That's a weird combo. And he's slow dev. Chargers take Buck Varga. Chiefs. No standouts. The Colts take Rhett Wells, who was like the number 1 on the regular board. He's solid, but John Stone's better. Isaac Peters, though. Here was the first running back we passed on. 92 speed, 90 carrying, 85 juke, 83 spin. So actually, he's a lot faster than I expected. He only ran 4.5. So I thought he'd be like 87, 88 speed. That's a lot more dynamic. And 77 route running? They make running backs with good route running in Madden now? That's incredible. 93 elusiveness? Keep in mind, instead of him, we got a future first round pick. Wow, Mays was their highest overall pick. You kidding me? Dallas? Did I get Matt Prater? I couldn't remember if he accepted or if it was just O'Donnell. The Dolphins go get Connor Maynard, LaBreece Pringley. Looking for standouts here. Eagles, Gage Lindsey. Travis Grant, superstar development from Hawaii. The Falcons, Jeffrey Reeves. This is not a great class. Oh, Johnny Gash. I almost said Jeremy Cash. Yeah, I would have loved to get Gash with those ratings. At least we have DeAndre Houston Carson, who's very similar. Vincent Brown, superstar guard. Giants, Seantrell Bennett. Oh my. Nah, he was running back 1 if you ask me. Look at those ratings. It's fantastic. Wonder if we'll get to see some of these great rookies in our next season. I'm sure some of them. Antoine Hood. The Jets took Spencer Nolan. Quick dev. Clayton Patterson, superstar development guard. Really solid after a couple of years, I assume. Curtis Brightful, I almost drafted him. But other than power moves, nothing stands out great. The Packers in our division. Nolan Myslinski. 89 blocking. Took a receiver out of Minnesota in his second round. And the Panthers, Naquan Paul. 96 speed with that 4.27 40. So Carolina's got a big playmaker with questionable hands. This is their Ted Ginn replacement. And also maybe Curtis Samuel replacement. Alan Walton. Patriots get a good one there. The Raiders. The Rams. Well, 281s. Wait a minute here. Morgan Lamar, slow dev. He's already developed though. Who cares? Dalton Ellingson. You know, it's actually a tight end worth drafting. Don't get too many of those in Madden. Now, Baltimore gets all 60s. They took Zach Kelly. This was the top-rated quarterback. He ain't throwing anything past, like, 4 yards. Ooh. Tough luck there, Baltimore. Bernard Salisbury. One of the players I liked. Would have been nice to get him at cornerback, but would have required a trade up, which might have been worth it, honestly. Sherman Poyer I liked a lot, and those are excellent ratings. I can't believe he's only a 74. I guess intangibles are very low on him. And he's clutch. That's a playmaker. Oh, Henry McClam. McClam's got superstar? Are you kidding me? Wow. The Seahawks. Jonathan Powell. That was the cornerback I hoped to get. Oh, yeah, his zone was higher. His zone was higher. He went at 14 overall. So what would it have costed us to get up there? Our 2. We had no 3. Would a 2 and a 4 been enough? No, I don't think so. To jump up that many picks? To jump up from 34 to 14, you need more than a 4th round pick to do that. It would have taken like a future 2nd round pick, which would have been very risky at the time. And Bridges turns out to be a solid tackle. Maybe not the greatest upside though, because strength isn't high, impact blocking isn't high, and you can't fix all of these on a 24-year-old. So the number 1 pick was Rashad Simpson. He's definitely not the best receiver, but not a bad receiver either. Bit surprising they took him. And then the Minnesota Vikings really did a poor job this time. Good man coverage here for Kevin Henry, but not great speed. Anybody else I wanted to check? So here was our class again. A 1st round pick in Frederick Chickalow. Then 3 4th round picks. Andrew Leonard, Marquis Cole, Bryant Powers. Defensive tackle Jalen Egbo in the 5th. Dante Rooks in the 6th. And Bennett Jennings in the 7th round out of Grand Valley State in Michigan. I'd say the chat had good draft takes. The players you all liked seemed to be very good. I couldn't get them all. Either way, you're going to be very disappointed. If you want 15 players, I can only draft like 6. It's a lot of chances at disappointment. So now looking at our roster, Mitchell Trubisky and Andrew Leonard backing him up. If you want to compare the two, Trubisky has obviously better mobility significantly, same arm strength, Trubisky has 1 higher short accuracy, 1 lower medium accuracy, and the same deep throw accuracy. And they have the same, like, Trubisky 6'3", 220, Leonard 6'2", 230. Throw on the run, Trubisky's better. Play action, Leonard gets the edge. A lot of similarities, actually. But Trubisky also has higher development at normal, whereas Leonard has slow. Andrew Leonard. No new running backs on the team. Cam Meredith, Quincy Enunwa, Marcus Wheaton, Paul Richardson, who is now, I believe, our fastest player on the team. Him and Callahan. Only had 2 tight ends. I have to edit Akeem Hicks' contract. We did not get a pass rusher on like an outside linebacker pass rusher. At corner, we had Terrence Newman and Bryant Powers. We'll have some competition here for sure. Safety, we just keep DeAndre Houston Carson. We have Matt Prater at kicker, Pat O'Donnell at punter. And looking ahead to the future, we have these picks. 2 firsts, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. So a full slate plus 1. A big one. So I have some editing to do. I have to get on to the preseason soon. But the reason why I did the stream earlier today was because I was going to be pressed for time later on. So I'm going to be ending here very shortly. So thank you all for tuning in and spending some time with me today in the Chicago Bears franchise. Fun off-season, a more challenging off-season than usual, but I think that we did enough to set ourselves up for a better year, and to have a first-round pick, an extra one going into next year, will be a tremendous help because we're still going to have to rebuild. We still have a lot of holes on this team. We couldn't get it all done in 1 year. This was not a year where you could fix all these holes at the same time. So I think I did my best, and I had some fun. I like this team. I like our receivers a lot more. It's going to be a lot more interesting to see how this shakes out with the additions of Richardson, Enunwa, and Cole. We certainly can get more physical this year. Obviously, having Cameron Meredith back is huge. So receivers completely changed, but we did not replicate like a Kendall Wright player. We didn't keep him, and I think that could hurt us a little bit. A lot of people want to see undrafted free agents. Perhaps we can take a look at a few. Usually I don't skip past this stage, but I don't think I need to stay here because I can always adjust things later. I don't think I lose anything by simming ahead now. Let me save it quick. We can take a look at the undrafteds. I'm not just going to sort by overall and take the first 10 I see, though. I'll definitely get another quarterback for training camp and for preseason stuff. Cameron Meredith is available to play again. That's excellent news. And we can also check on our schedule here in just a moment. So I'll do this very quickly, going through the free agents. I want to see practice squad eligible guys only. So for instance, if I want to look at strong safeties out there, Shamar Peters, 83 speed, he'd be an option. Marquell Greer from FAU, might have some interest in him. Thurman Klein from Clemson. Tank Boone. Wish the zone coverage was a little higher on Tank. Let's see, McClam. Did McClam go undrafted? I thought I saw McClam already. Klein Saucers in the name pool. I'm definitely going to sign a running back. Ooh, Chris Carson is available. I'm a Chris Carson guy. That's expensive, though. Well, Corey Clement. Might have to have some interest in him, too. London Hanson. Anton Peterson. Definitely going to be signing a tight end. But I don't have a lot of time to go through all these positions right now. So I'll have to do a lot of that later on. We'll have to get some free agents on the team and some veterans for sure. We have some holes on the team that need to get filled. Players that could make the team even. So I'll go through this a bit more thoroughly later. I want to check on... Did that just say Thielen? Oh, Swami's in here. How's it going, Swami? Equipment for rookies, I don't have a lot of time for that either, actually. And plus, do you want me doing it? You probably want to see me get Blackjack's opinions, because he does a lot better job than me. So I want to see our schedule. How do things look this year for the Chicago Bears? We open against the Lions and the Packers right away. We play the Packers 2 times in our first 4 games. How about that for a schedule? Rams, Packers, then Lions, Bucks, Seattle, Vikings, Bills, Cardinals, Niners. For the Vikings again in week 16. No division game in week 17. I wish the schedules would fix that, but I guess they have fixed having like 5 home games in a row. So Lions, Packers, Rams, Packers, Lions. So in the first 5 episodes, you're going to see 3 teams. And if you didn't see earlier, obviously we have a new coach going into next year. Although, no dramatic scheme changes. Mike Tomlin. Now, I'll focus on this stuff later. I do want to make some changes to the offensive playbook because I think it's very limited. I'll have to see if there's one that fits better. But that's going to do it for the offseason, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It was a fun time, and I think we broke the viewer record on my off-seasons. I'm going to see if it tells me what we peaked at, because last I saw, we're at 1,400 right now, which is incredible. But we peaked at 2,476. So go get 1,000 of your friends, and let's get to 2,500. We're so close. But seriously, thank you. Average person was in here for 21 minutes. The fact that you guys enjoy my content enough to stick around that long is incredible, and I appreciate it. You guys have done a lot helping me build this channel and my second channel as well. If you haven't checked it out, MrHurriicane LP. I am indeed caught up on Super Chats. That was a fun stream, though. It was a good time. I appreciate all of you once again. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy watching the Minnesota Vikings tomorrow. Try to get their 9th victory in a row. I think it's a good matchup, but the Panthers are a good team, and it's the Vikings' 3rd straight road game, so who knows what's going to happen. Well, yeah. So, we're going to be back soon for another offseason. Kalispell is going to be winding down with this current year, and we're going to have an offseason probably 2 Saturdays from now. That's when I think it'll happen. So mark your calendars. I would make it the like, what's 2 weeks from now? Ooh, 23rd or something. I'll have to see if it has to happen a little bit earlier, actually. I'm not sure, but for sure within the next 2 weeks, Kalispell is going to be wrapped up with the 5th season. We're going to want a season 6. Incredible how many seasons have already gone by in that series too. It feels like, in some ways it feels like it just started, but in other ways it's like I haven't called the game with Sammy Hawthorne and Eddie Benson in a minute. So that's incredible how fast things can move and how old things can seem. This was fun though. Will I do any trades? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want to give up. I don't want to give up a lot right now. So I wouldn't expect me to make any off-season trades, but you never know. Are you going to try to use Calhoun more this year? If I don't sign another running back or a middle linebacker, he could be the number 4 guy, which means he would get more chances, especially if there was an injury of any kind. So we'll have to see. That will end this stream though. Thank you all for showing up, sticking around, having a good time, and supporting the channel. I will see you all later. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.